What is going on, faithful? It is your boy Niner Sickness with the Niner Sickness podcast coming on late with my boy 49er Minded Bashar. Talk a little 49er football at the midnight hour here in actually later than the midnight hour. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome, welcome. You're probably going to see this more on a replay than you are on live. Bashar, how you doing, sir? Welcome to the show.
Doing great, man. It's always good to have me on. I definitely feel appreciated. I love being on here, man.
Absolutely. Love having you on here, brother. Love having you on here. So, a lot of things have been happening with the 49ers, brother. A lot of things have been happening. Free agency. We haven't even gotten to the draft yet. And we added some additions to the roster and we lost some players. You want to talk about the players that we lost?
Yeah, I mean, we all knew that Laken Tomlinson was going to demand big money and possibly DJ Jones as well. And lo and behold, we decided not to keep both of them. And I don't know if we did it because they decided to just let them walk away, or it was maybe because they wanted to keep them, but hey, we didn't really have the money to keep them on. Their stock raised. At the end of the day, you can't keep everybody. But I definitely appreciate what Laken Tomlinson did when we traded for him. We got him from the Detroit Lions, and he's been a good player for us ever since, and he's been steady, and he hasn't missed much games, and it was really nice to have him. Unfortunately, we don't have him anymore, and we have to step up and fill that hole, fill that void. Same goes for DJ Jones. I mean, we didn't draft him high, and we drafted him fairly low, and we developed him, and he panned out for us. And hats off to Chris Kosirik. He does a really, really good job with the D linemen, and hopefully we can find some gems and develop the guys that we currently have and make them better players. We kept him, Maurice Hurst on board. I liked what I saw from Hurst with the Raiders. We barely had him last year, but when he was healthy, he looked pretty good. But the problem was he wasn't healthy last year. Same goes for Kinlaw. I liked what I saw from Kinlaw last year too, and there's a lot of expectations for Kinlaw to step in. Especially when you have Buckner out of there. But we love to see what we could do with Kinlaw. It was pretty unfortunate when we lost him because of his injuries, so hopefully he rehabs properly and steps in, because we're going to need it from him, after losing those D linemen. And we also lost Contavious Street. I think I was talking to you earlier today, and you were saying that you weren't so big on him, but I kind of was, and I liked him in the rotation. But again, though, we do have other guys that could possibly fill that void, and who knows who end up drafting in terms of D line.
Yeah, absolutely. I hear you, bro. Javon Kinlaw is definitely going to have to step up to the plate, and we have to wait and see how his knee is doing and rehabbing from the surgery he had. Hopefully, we'll have a healthy Javon Kinlaw. We're going to need him definitely down the stretch. We lost DJ Jones, even though he was a 6th round pick, but he was very essential to the Niners defense and what we did in the pass rush. And also, he was a great run blocker. So hopefully, excuse me, hopefully Javon Kinlaw can step up and do his thing.
Yeah, we definitely need it. It was kind of unfortunate, obviously, last season too, when we lost him due to injury, because they were all making it sound like Kinlaw's injury that he had, it may be a continuous thing, and it is worrisome, and we don't want it to be like a D4 thing where he's constantly hurt or whatever. And we invested a lot in this guy, and that's a high draft pick. So yeah, as far as the other players we lost, who else we lose? We lost Raheem Mostert. I mean, Raheem Mostert, the guy, former surfer. He was raised in Florida, pretty much been there most of his life. Was prior to his NFL playing career, and now he's coming back home to the Miami Dolphins. Something told me that we were probably going to lose him. Not that his stock was necessarily high, because he missed, a fair amount of games, but he has that rare ability to break away. It's an elite breakaway ability, and he'll be missed. But Shanahan, like his dad, does work wonders with running backs. It was nice to see what we did with Elijah Mitchell this season. Nobody knew who Elijah Mitchell was pretty much when we drafted him. Very few people did. He wasn't a highly touted name, and look who he became this season. He should have had 1,000 yards. He was really close. And we still have Trey Sermon waiting in the mix. And pretty much looks like we're going to draft another running back. We probably needed one more speedster out there to help those other guys. And I'd like to see an actual running back rotation. As much as I like Shanahan, and as much as I love the way he, takes pride in the running game. I mean, we need to rotate these running backs more, because I'm sick of seeing these guys get hurt.
Yeah, definitely have to run these running backs. Now, yeah, we lost Raheem Mostert, and it's I wish him the best with Miami. Great running back. He did great for us in 2019 against the Green Bay Packers. If anybody's going to miss him, it will definitely be the Packer fans. How we ran all over their defense. But I'm ready to move on with Elijah Mitchell. I wanted to bring back Raheem Mostert eventually, but for $3 million for a player that is kind of 31, already going to hit 32, and gets injury a lot, I'd rather go with the young ones. And hopefully the Niners draft a running back in the draft. But I'm curious to see how Trey Sermon plans out. We drafted him, if people remember. Not only did we draft him in the third round, but we moved up into the third round, traded with the Rams to be able to get their spot so that we can draft him. So hopefully he works out 49er minded and produces for us. So we added free agency. We lost those gentlemen, but we did add a corner that, all year, even though we had a great pass rush, and even though DeMeco Ryans was able to disguise our corners very well, we did have Josh Norman. This guy's up there in age. He doesn't know how to do nothing but grab when he's feeling that he's getting burned. We had Dante Johnson, and then we have Jason Verrett, but he got hurt week 1. And as good as he is, you can't depend on him because of his injury history, unfortunately. So the only one we had was Emmanuel Mosley, a veteran, and then the two rookies, Lenoir and Thomas. Now, Thomas kind of started slow and started to play better. And it's funny, Lenoir started good and started to digress a little bit. But I think he was playing out of position. I don't think he's a natural at the outside. I think he's more of the slot, Lenoir is. And I think he wasn't backpedaling very well. His foot work wasn't disciplined. He was getting burnt. So they brought in Avery Thomas, and he started to pick it up. And towards the end of the year, we all saw what he was able to do. But we still needed to upgrade that position. And they went out and got Charvarius Ward, cornerback from the Kansas City Chiefs. This guy was an unrestricted agent picked up by the Cowboys that same year that he went to the Chiefs and pretty much made a name for himself the last 4 years. And because of the money situation with the Chiefs, they are still under the cap right now, or over the cap, I should say. And it's already Friday. They were not able to re-sign him, so we were able to get him. And I can't wait to see what he does under DeMeco Ryans 49er man. I think this guy's going to be special. We have him on one side. Now we have Emmanuel Mosley on the other. And then when we go to certain packages, we'll be able to move Thomas on the outside and then bring Emmanuel Mosley on the inside with Ward on the opposite side. So I can't wait to see what DeMeco Ryan does with this new corner. I think we definitely got better in our secondary.
Yeah, I mean, so a lot of Niner fans were kind of disappointed because we didn't get Gilmore. But at the end of the day, it's not always about the big flashy names, right? It's all about who you can get. And at the end of the day, this guy's a whole lot younger than Gilmore, so we're gonna have him for a bit longer. And so Charvarius Ward, do not confuse him with Tarvarius Moore or Jimmy Ward. We were saying earlier about Wayne Breezy calling them the psych ward, or I like that. That's pretty cool.
The psych
Who knows?
ward.
We might pick up another Ward corner in the draft or a Ward safety in the draft. There might be one lurking. Who knows? But hey, we definitely got better. I mean, I think this guy is a bit better than Mosley. He there was plenty of clips of him over the past few years going up against the top dog wide receivers in the NFL. I've seen videos of him making plays against DeAndre Hopkins. I've seen videos of him making plays against CeeDee Lamb. I've seen videos of him making plays against Diggs, making plays against Jamar Chase. So this guy is not that he does it on every single play, but at times he's step for step with these wide receivers, and he doesn't back down for the big names, and he can get physical. So I can only imagine this guy doing better in our offense with Bosa on the pass rush and with our rotational defensive line. Who knows who we pick up in terms of amping our pass rush. It would be nice to see what goes on. And D'Amico's Ryan's defense was highly successful last year, and for the most part, we didn't even have Mosley during the season. We were working with Norman, like you said. There's who's the other guy? Dante Johnson was playing a lot. Drake Kirkpatrick was playing a lot, and Ambry Thomas only stepped in like towards maybe the last 5 weeks of the season. And week after week, he pretty much got better, and I liked what I saw on him. Diamador Lenore was playing early in the season. Looks like they're probably going to try to fill him in as a slot role. I'm not sure where they're going to do what they're going to do now exactly. Now it looks like Ambry's going to take a back seat, but that's fine. I mean, Ambry will be on the field more often than not because a lot of teams run 4 wide receiver sets. So it's not like Ambry, just because you don't start as a cornerback in the NFL doesn't mean you don't get playing time. Whether or not we resign K'Waun Williams remains to be seen. Something tells me that they probably don't resign him, and maybe they go for some more corners in this upcoming draft. It is a pretty good draft for corners. So, yeah, I like the Ward move a lot. I mean, there were the quarterback rating in terms of this past season. When quarterbacks threw towards him, it was like a 53 quarterback rating. So, yeah, if you pull up what he did on Next Gen Stats, it's pretty impressive. As far as yards, he gave up pretty week after week in terms of who he was guarding, yards that he gave up per game per week. For the most part, it was relatively low. It was only, the only time he gave up over 100 yards was against Jamar Chase, and Jamar Chase is a generational talent. He's a monster. So,
yeah, absolutely. Young kid, surprising, up and coming. I believe he won offensive rookie of the year, if I'm not mistaken. Rightfully, maybe he didn't, but regardless, he's very good. Like you said, generational talent. And he was, for the most part, he was able to cover him and defend the red zone. Now, sometimes you're going to, as a D-back, you're going to give up yards. It's a matter that you don't give up touchdowns. And that's what you want to protect is the red zone. And he did that very well. So I'm excited to see what he does with the 49ers this year under D'Amico Ryans. And then we also added Byrne, I believe, a linebacker on special teams from Green Bay. He's a linebacker. He'll play a little bit of linebacker, but he's mainly brought in for special teams. And then we also brought in today a punt returner specialist, and his name is Ray
McLeod.
Ray McLeod out of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this guy was like the top punt returner this year out of all the punt returners. So there was a little bit of a bidding war for him. The Niners were aggressive. They wanted him. They got tired because all year we started with bad field position, bro. That every time. Unless the ball went into the end zone, it was the only time that we were able to start it from the 25-yard line. But if it wasn't, we started from within our 10, our 15, our 5. And now, hopefully, with these punt returner, we're able to hopefully start it in our 40, maybe their 50 or their 40, and go from there. So I'm excited to see what he does for the 49ers, bro.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if Kyle Shanahan works him within the offense or runs some gadgety type plays with him too, with all that speed he has. Who knows what Shanahan has in mind for him? But yeah, I mean, how long has it been since we had a consistent punt return threat that could give us that field position? And it's funny because if you sign like you mentioned, the other special teams guy from the Packers, and when people see special team signings, nobody's going to really care. Nobody's going to get excited. Nobody's going to jump for joy. But, hey, you have offense, defense, and special teams. Special teams is a very important phase of the game, and it should not be ignored. And we saw in certain games how lack of special teams, lack of good special teams play had hurt us throughout the season. So I welcome it. I love that fact that we have a chance to get great field position for Trey Lance in the future. It's very nice.
Yeah, most definitely. So I like the direction the 49ers are going. Definitely. They're not making the big splashes. They're not wowing, 49er faithful. You're not going to get a Devontae Adams to the Raiders type of trade. You're not going to get a Russell Wilson to the Broncos type of trade. And I know a lot of times we want those type of trades, but look at the way the Niners are building this team. They're building it a little by little. They're not only building it for today, but they're building it for the future. and they love to have um, depth in every position, and they like to utilize players that are great in the locker room. So even though they're not making the big splashes, they're definitely filling holes that need to be filled. And for a team that hasn't really made big splashes the last few years in the free agency world, we have definitely brought in, gone to 2 NFC championship games and 1 Super Bowl appearance. So that's not bad. And we did bring like K1 Alexander. We did bring, he didn't work out for us, unfortunately, but D Ford was kind of a big splash. So it's not like they haven't done big splashes, but right now it's all about filling the need at a proper cost, not selling the farm to bring players. And could have they gone for J.C. Jackson? Probably. But can they make Javarius Award work for a much cheaper price? Most definitely. So I like the direction that John Lynch and Kyle Shannon are doing, break by break. We just have to be patient. I think that a lot of the frustration that is going on in the Niner world with the faithful is the situation with Jimmy G. The fact that Jimmy G is still on this roster, the fact that a lot of quarterbacks have come and gone, have moved from one team to the other, and Jimmy G is still here, is frustrating to the Niner faithful. And they want to get a fix, right? They want to they feel bad, so they want to feel good. So what do you want to, when you feel good, what do you want to do? Go and get a banana split with all your favorite toppings to enjoy it, right? But people want that splash free agent, and it's not happening, and people are disappointed. But I like the direction the Niners are going. I think we'll be fine. And we still have the draft, and I'm looking forward to see what we do in the draft.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. My mic was muted. I actually had to mute my mic because my laptop on power adapter was not plugged in and my battery was going to die. So I took care of that. But yeah, sure, a lot of Niner fans aren't, impressed with what's going on this offseason. In some cases they're right, some cases they're wrong. Sometimes it's just the big names and the big splashes that get you all excited. But if you look at a stat, I was talking to Rohan, who I had on my show recently. He's a writer for 49er Web Zone, and I wish I remembered. He's like a computer; he'll bring up all kinds of stats and all kinds of numbers without even looking them up on Google. He brought up a great point over like the teams over the past few years who were the big spenders in free agency, and you'll be surprised that the teams who do spend all the money, more often than not, a lot of them aren't the teams who come out on top. Now you can make the argument about the Rams, but other than that, in most cases, these teams do not, just because they sign all the big name players and they spend all the big money, doesn't mean that they're going to be the team that's going to come on top with the Lombardi Trophy. So
that is correct.
Hey, we draft well. Hopefully, we draft well again this time. And sure, you don't always, there are other ways to acquire players other than the draft. I do get that, but hopefully, we make the most out of our situation. This Jimmy G thing. Just a second. This Jimmy G thing. How many times have I swiped on my phone to refresh my Twitter feed to see if a trade has gone down? It's, a lot of us are anxious about it. Well, the anxiety's kicking in, and we want something to get done. I'll go before I go to sleep.
Oh my God, he was traded.
Yeah, right.
No, just kidding.
So I'll stop away my phone, be like, okay, you know what? Before I go to bed, I'm gonna check my Twitter feed. Okay, he's not traded, but it's okay because when I wake up the next day and get ready to do what I gotta do, he's gonna be gone. And lo and behold, Jimmy's still around. It's like, whoa, it's already the 18th, and we still have Jimmy on the roster. A lot of people thought he was definitely gonna be gone at the 16th, and it's unfortunate because Jimmy would have been traded away to the Commanders.
It's like that rash, bro, that never goes away, and you just keep scratching it.
Oh, you can also make a cockroach reference, right?
I wouldn't go that bad, but
I don't want to, I kind of have to throw it out there. But so the Commanders were willing to trade for him. What happened? Jimmy still his no trade clause was still in effect, unfortunately, and they backed out of it. And the Commanders were not willing to wait. They wanted to get a deal done right then and there. They got Wentz. And, I guess they were antsy and they wanted to make moves. So, we lost out on that. And now it's like every time a Jimmy G trade proposal is brought up to the media or whatever, it's like well, this may happen, but first, this has to happen with this quarterback before we see a Jimmy G deal go down. It keeps happening over, it never ends. So now it's Deshaun Watson, and wherever Watson goes, it dictates to where Jimmy's going to go and when his trade is going to go down. And now it's like, okay, well, maybe he's going to go to Atlanta. Oh, well, if he goes to Atlanta, that means that they're going to throw Matty Ice on the market. And then Matty Ice is going to be a bigger priority for quarterback needy teams, more so than Jimmy G. And it's just, it's like, remember that movie, The Never Ending Story? Like they did do a sequel with it and have it about Jimmy G and Trey Lance and the 49ers, because that's how it feels right now.
Yeah, definitely, man. And it's just going to get crazier before it gets better, man. It's not like the quietness before the storm. It's going to happen. I mentioned this before. Right now, they're probably waiting to see what happens with Deshaun Watson. The dominoes fall. They may want to clear Jimmy's health so they can get clear the $7 million that they're going to owe him for injury if that's the case. There's so many things that are taking place, but I got a feeling that he's not going to be on this team week one. It's just a matter of being patient, and I know that's hard. Is to be impatient, and a lot of us, we think that, oh my God, we're holding on to Jimmy G and we're missing out on all these players. We're missing on the Allen Robinsons. We're missing on all these players, on the Fletcher Cox. We're missing on all these players because we stuck with Jimmy. Well, having Jimmy does hurt us. It's more beneficial if he wasn't on the books. I'll agree with that, but rest assured that if Kyle and Lynch wanted a certain player to come in while Jimmy was still on the roster, they would make it work. They will restructure some contracts. They will kick some cans down the road, and they will get the money they need to bring in those players. Would it be easier and nicer if Jimmy was gone? Absolutely. But it is what it is. Maybe if we hold on to Jimmy a little bit longer and he clears medical, once he clears the medical, maybe his value goes up. Maybe by then a quarterback gets hurt. And now we're able to move him. A lot of factors take place, 49er minded. So all we got to do is be patient with Jimmy. I kind of think like he's not even on the team. Like he's gone. And I'm just looking at the add-ons and what we're losing. And then when he's really gone, we'll go from there. Because what's the point of looking at our phone every day and just getting disappointed over and over again when he's still on the roster? So, it's like when you're anticipating to go to a vacation, you can't wait for that day to come because you just want it, and it just seems like forever. Or for those that have been locked up,
at the clock.
Yeah, for those that have been locked up, I never have been. Wink, wink. You look at the time, and the time goes by really, really slow. So it depends on how you look at it. But, as we're talking a little bit of the 49ers, me and Bashar, honestly, we did do a live on his channel, and we did it for about an hour. And we decided to go on my channel for a little bit because we wanted to try some things with our cameras and our equipment, to be honest with you. So we wanted to talk a little bit of football, but I am tired, bro. So I'm gonna wind it down. I just wanted to give, if you will, some film tape for Bashar to look at after the show, so he can kind of adjust his camera and his audio on 4K. So, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Those of you that are gonna watch us on a replay, wondering what the heck was Niner Sickness doing going on at 1 a.m. Yeah, I'm asking myself the same question. But I enjoy having 49er minded. We got to come on here next time at a more decent time and have a little bit more of a talk show, bro. Anything you want to say to my viewers? They're going to watch us probably tomorrow, how they can get a hold of your channel, how they can find you?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. It's pretty easy. I mean, just go to 49er Minded on YouTube. It's spelled exactly the way it is underneath my name, with my name on the screen right there. And you can find 49er Minded on Twitter. You can find 49er Minded on Instagram. There's a 49er Minded Facebook page. So I'm pretty much covered all the grounds of social media. I'm a diehard Niner fan. mean, me and Beto have known each other, for a good like 3 years now or so. I think we're working on 4 years right now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's always great collabing with fellow 49er content creators. I think we have the best community of online content creators for any NFL team out there, perhaps of any professional sport. Arguably, I'll put that against any sport, maybe, perhaps. And we have a great community. A lot of these community people in this community have gone on to make careers out of being on YouTube and being in social media. So I'm very honored to be a part of this. I really am. And I'm looking forward to be on here again. And there'll be plenty more to talk about, without a doubt. And we'll do it when people are awake. So
Absolutely. So those that are watching, all 5 of you, thank you for joining me at this hour. Thank you for being a night owl. Get your sleep. Have a wonderful night. And we'll see you the next time on the Niner Sickness Podcast. Peace.
go Niners.